Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, is another movie review. Now, I saw this movie on the 3rd of May and I'm posting it probably on the 5th of May because, of course, the 4th was or is Star Wars Day. So yeah, when it comes to DreamWorks, by the way, we're talking about The Bad Guys. You probably read the title or saw the thumbnail. The Bad Guys, the latest DreamWorks film. So as far as DreamWorks goes, I haven't really. It's kind of a weird thing because, like, Shrek. Obviously, the first, obviously the first Shrek, but, Shrek 1 through 4, they're okay. I wouldn't call them great. The memes are pretty effing strong, oh, donkey, onions have layers, and, all that, Lord Farquaad, all that crap. There's a lot of memes to come from Shrek 1, right? Somebody wants to, that whole thing. So it's, I guess that's Shrek. Shark Tale, never saw it. Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, 3, they're okay. They're pretty good. I'd watch them again. By far my favorite DreamWorks film, and no one effing talks about this movie. No one. It's really weird. It's like it doesn't even. It's like it never happened. Rise of the Guardians from 2012. One of my favorite animated films. One of my favorite films of all time. Period. It's on my top 10 favorite movies of all time list, and that is by far my favorite DreamWorks film. By far. And this film, The Bad Guys, comes actually right under that. And I do like How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, 3. I'd have to rewatch them, but I do think those are very good. So, really, for me, go Rise of the Guardians, The Bad Guys, and then the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, and then, like, Kung Fu Panda. Puss in Boots was good. I look forward to Puss in Boots number 2, December, I think. But this is a good film. It's a very, very good film. And, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, they're bad guys, and they're just evil, and then maybe the wolf wants to turn good, and that leads to this. And Billie Eilish is playing, I'm the bad guy, and I'm like, look, this trailer looks good, but every time I hear, like, thematically themed music, like Billie Eilish, whatever the hell she is, playing that, like, the big, that stupid song, that's in every freaking thing ever, it annoys me, I mean, so I was like, alright, this looks good, but and I get it's called The Bad Guys, and the song, I get it, I'm not stupid, but I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way, and thankfully, if you like Billie Eilish or whatever, that's fine. I don't, but you can, and she's not in the film, as far as I can tell. I mean, I didn't stay the whole time, but what I saw for the end credits, she's not in there. So that was a plus in my book. I don't hate her. I just felt like it was kind of cheesy to have that in the trailer. It's like, oh, I get it. They're calling it The Bad Guys because they're branding it with the song. But thankfully, this film is so much more than just a brand synergy between a song and a trailer. It's actually freaking mind-blowing how good this is. And I know DreamWorks makes good films for all ages, and it's funny because I say all ages because, there's, again, that stigma where people are like, oh, if it's animated, it's for children, bring in the kids, bring in the kiddies, it's for children only, if you're a teenager or an adult, you can't watch it. And first of all, that's objectively incorrect because I have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of proof. For example, in my theater, there was an old guy, probably like 60, 70, there was old-ish guy. There was a bunch of, me, my mom and dad, and then there was, of course, a few little 4, 5, 6-year-olds. The kids in this kids movie weren't paying attention to the plot at all. They were screaming, they were talking, they were doing whatever the hell they were doing anything but watching the film. This film, yes, it's appropriate for, I'd say, older kids, maybe 10, 11 up, but it is like 99% of animation out there that isn't just, for little baby kids or for adults. It's that happy stuff in between that is for, it's not for kids, it's appropriate for kids. And it's appropriate for teens, and it's appropriate for adults. It's appropriate for everyone once you're a certain age. And this is a good film, because yes, they are bad guys. Yeah, there's no, gunfighting and, murdering of cops, but there is stealing, there is running from the cops, there is a lot of mature, teenage adult themes in this film, and that's what kind of surprised me. Because, I knew it wasn't a kid's film. It's an animated film. Again, there's a difference. But I was expecting, oh, it's happy-go-lucky, it's funny, it's like GTA, but with animals. But no, I mean, without spoiling it, because I really want you to see this film, because it's a freaking good movie. It's just, there's so many twists and turns that by the time the movie ended, I was like, wow. Like, the beginning, I'm like, this is a good movie. And then in the middle, I was like, this is a really good movie. And then in the end, I'm like, this is a freaking good-ass movie. Like, geez, this was crazy good. Let me just get this out of the way. The voice acting is great. The editing is great. The script is great. Yes, there's a few fart jokes, but they're actually funny. If a 23-year-old me and I don't know how old my dad is, whatever, 40, 50, whatever, 40-something, he's going to yell at me if he sees us. But he was laughing. You know, the 60, 70-year-old in the front was laughing his ass off the whole time, and the kids were just drinking their Slurpees and, like, you know, picking their boogers. They didn't know what the heck was going on. You know, I mean, so clearly the humor isn't, you know, poop joke funny, you know, for little 2-year-olds that makes kids laugh. That's, you know, Minions, stuff like that. And I'm not saying Minions is for kids only, I'm just saying. But the poop joke in this film actually was pretty funny. And to that extent, the animation is also freaking fantastic. You know, there's so many animated movies that, you know, try to, like, hyper-real, you know, like the Lego movies, Tintin, the Pixar movies, you know, they all look incredible, but they are, you know, they're not, like, traditional animation, you know what I'm saying? Like, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, not my favorite film ever. I own it, I do like it, but I need to rewatch it. But that film, it felt like an animated comic book come to life. It was very stylistic in terms of its art direction and art design. And this film is the exact same way. It isn't as intense as that, but there are moments, especially with the humans, the way the humans are animated. It kind of feels like that Captain Underpants movie. I think that was DreamWorks too. I didn't see it. But, you know, the way they animate, the way they move, like when the tarantula hits like a freaking, you know, hits the ground, like the smoke, or like the rubble when you know, the wolf drives in his car. It feels like a comic book, you know what I mean? It's really weird. It's like they're mixing traditional 3D animation with more 2D animation kind of mixed in. That's also what the new Puss in Boots film was doing as well. Not Pussy Boots, Puss in Boots is doing. And, you know, I'm very much looking forward to that film too. But this film really looks good. I mean, it stands above the rest of the animated films, and it looks, you know, it's not the best looking film ever made in terms of animation, but it's different and it's unique, and that's what's really cool about it. Just from the opening scene, where just the snake and the wolf are talking in a restaurant, and it's just this one-shot, one-take scene, and, you know, they're saying, a caper by DreamWorks, and, you know, they're kind of doing this. It doesn't have that traditional, it felt like you're watching, like, Goodfellas, or, you know, some kind of, like, crime, noir, thriller, mob boss film with talking animals, and just that one silhouetted scene. It looked freaking nuts, you know, it was just like, it's just two characters at a diner talking. And as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, this is a good movie. Like, this is cool, you know. It's something different. And, of course, it leads to a car chase, and all this crazy stuff happens we see in the trailer. There's a lot of really unique things in this film where you're like, wow, they're doing that. And, wow, that was a twist. Or, whoa, that animation was cool. Whoa, that action scene was sick. Whoa, that was funny. There's so many really cool and awesome moments in this film that it really blew me away. And, again, for all the little kids watching, well, they weren't watching. All the adults and teenagers watching, which this movie is primarily obviously meant for, because according to the internet, the stupid idiots on the internet, the target audience of toddlers wasn't paying attention at all. So there you go. But no, I mean, seriously, this is a great film. I mean, it is one of DreamWorks' best. Again, Rise of the Guardians is, in my opinion, the best and most flawless DreamWorks film out there on a number of levels. But this film is pretty much a second contestant slash runner to that, you know, Rise of the Guardians film. And again, I love How to Train Your Dragon, I love Kung Fu Panda, I love all those, but this film feels different in its animation, it feels different, just the plot, you know what I mean? It's not straight up comedy either. Without spoiling it, they go into elements where, you know, there's a lot of kind of serious scenes where they're not just talking, or, you know, of course there is a plot, which I won't get into that much for spoilers, but you know, there are funny moments in there. You know, it's not like funny because, you know, oh, it has to be. It's genuinely funny humor, and the fact that it actually pairs up with epic animation, very good voice acting, great action scenes, a very good plot that, yes, it's a little bit predictable, but at the same time, there's enough stuff that twists and turns where, again, at the end, I was like, wow, I didn't see that part coming or that part coming, so it was really unique to see. And, you know, I think it's doing really well on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, I really don't care if this film got a 98, if it got a 6. I don't give a fudge. I freaking loved it. And I'm going to give The Bad Guys probably an A. As far as negatives, there's one line that was kind of weirdly written, where it seems like Aquafina, the tarantula, just read the line wrong, and they just freaking went with it. I can't remember the exact quote, but it was like a very common thing, like, "Hey, where are you guys going?" or "Hey, what's up?" And it was like, "Hey, how's up?" You know, it was a really weird thing to say. That's a very big nitpick, though. So, you know what? F it. I'm gonna give it an A+. Freaking loved it. I don't care. Upon thinking of it, I cannot think of a single negative. Like, the animation was great, the voice acting was great, the humor, again, not every single thing played for laughs had made me going, huh! You know, I wasn't like laughing out loud like an idiot, but, you know, I was either laughing out loud, smirking, chuckling, smiling, everything. You know, it wasn't like, there weren't any jokes where I'm sitting there in my theater going, You know what I mean? Like, nothing didn't land to a certain degree. The plot was really nice. Again, a bit predictable, but that's not really a negative because, it's a classic thing. It's, the bad guy wants to turn good, and we see what happens from there. But there's enough twists and turns in that, like I said, that really make you go, wow, I didn't see that part coming. And it's just a fun movie to watch. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's very mature, which, again, it's not a kid's film. None of the DreamWorks films are kids' films. They are animated films. Yes, kids can watch this. I wouldn't recommend anyone younger than 10 because, again, there's stealing, there's cops. It's very much, you don't want a little kid to be like, wow, running from the police and being bad is cool. You know what I mean? Because they are impressionable, trust me. But there are different moments in that where, it's very much just like, wow, okay, they're tackling kind of mature concepts. While still being a fun, entertaining, action-packed film with a lot of twists and turns. It really is a good film, and I can't stress that enough. I was looking forward to it, but by the time this film ended, I was like, wow, this is really good. And again, just from that opening shot of just two characters talking in a diner, and just, it really, like, the way this film is shot is just fantastic. The art direction is great. Everything about this film, artistically, when it comes down to the editing, the voice acting, the plot, everything works. And I know it's based on a book series, where the actual, if you look up, I think it's The Bad Guys. I don't know who wrote it. I didn't read them, but I did look at the cover, and the film does look a lot different than the book. But again, I just had to probably mention it because someone in the comments is going to say, "Oh, there's a book." I know there's a book. I didn't read it. If you didn't read it though, tell me in the comments down below what you think. What's better, the books or this film? Again, without spoiling The Bad Guys, make sure to tell me if you enjoyed it down below. If you have not seen it and you're kind of on the fence, go check it out. I think the last DreamWorks movie was like some girly movie about ponies. I don't know. Again, DreamWorks for me, there really hasn't been that many DreamWorks films that I really effing remember seeing. I mean, Rise of the Guardians was like 2012, and How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World was like 2015, 2017, something like that, 2018 maybe. It's been a long time since I saw a DreamWorks film, and they're coming back with a vengeance, I'll tell you that. And Puss in Boots looks really good too. But anyway, The Bad Guys is anything but bad. In fact, it's a very good movie. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I cannot wait to get The Bad Guys on Blu-ray, and of course, maybe give you guys a code or whatever. But anyway, very good film. Took me by surprise. I knew it was going to be good by the trailer, but it really blew me away by how good it actually was. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.